Welcome to Down the Right Field Line. Today we're going to be covering the projections for the Marlins outfield. How are they going to perform in 2012? We're also going to be talking about Cespedes. What's the latest on him? What team is he going to end up with? And there's going to be some Marlins events locally. How can you be a part of it? Where can you find your favorite Marlins players? Stay tuned. Down the Right Field Line next. Welcome to the latest edition of Down the Right Field Line. Remember that you can fast forward to any of the segments by clicking on any of the links below. Rafi is now in the NYC, the Big Apple, visiting some people up there. He's going to be up there for a couple months. How are you liking the new digs up there?
Oh, it's awesome, man. Just living the life here in the NYC, having a good time, meeting some people, and just enjoying my time here.
Good. You're going to have to represent the Marlins up there in the big city.
Oh, you know how I do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities, and just enjoy the life here.
Let's get right into it. Like we did last week, we're covering the infield and kind of projections of where we see the Marlins going from what they were last year to next year, 2012, first year of the Miami Marlins. This week we're going to be covering the outfield. And that's started in left field. Logan Morrison, really young guy, beautiful swing, left-handed hitter. You know, this is a guy that we've needed for quite a long time. I think we've missed out since Carlos Delgado's been gone. We haven't really had that sustainable lefty hitter. The thing that stood out the most for me was his .330 on base percentage. What do you see with this guy? What do you see with Lomo and his projections for 2012?
The first thing Lomo has to do is, he's in the big leagues. He's got to behave that way. I understand that it's good to, be outgoing and do all that, but when it gets in the way of your performance, that's where the problem lies. Now, I understand he spent part of last year on the disabled list with a foot injury, but bottom line is this guy's got to get his act together. And like you mentioned, the on-base percentage and the batting average have to go up, way up, in order for this guy to produce. Oddly enough, in my opinion, he had 23 home runs. You said that to me. It speaks of his power. It speaks of his abilities to hit 23 home runs with limited playing time, and all the other things going around. So I look for him to bump up his average up to the 280s. And with the on base, I'd like to see it over 350, maybe even over 360. So I'd like to see him in the 4th spot rather than the 5th spot. If he shows that patience and gets himself on first base is occupied for Mike Stanton at the plate. So something to think about for Ozzy there is maybe have Lomo sandwiched in between Hanley and Stanton. A lot of good things. I expect a lot of good things from Lomo, but he's got to take care of himself first.
So moving on to center field, and center field has been an area that the Marlins haven't been able to really replace since Juan Pierre left back in 2005. So now we have Bonifacio. He's going to be given every shot at winning that job, and I think that's the perfect place to have him. He brought a lot of energy last year with his 40 stolen bases, and he just took off once Jack McKeon came in. And his hitting came up big. He hit 296. This guy wasn't even close to 300 just a couple of years ago. And you're starting to see that speed, that 300 hitter. With Reyes at the top of the lineup and then Hanley, you're going to have a lot of speed up there for Lomo, Stan, and Gabby. So it's going to be exciting to see Bonifacio up there. But what's your projection for Bonifacio?
Well, I love Bonifacio. This guy's electric. This guy has fun on the field. This guy just enjoys playing the game. We did see a spike in batting average and in stolen bases because given the opportunity. But I'd like to see him, battle at the plate more, and we did see that last year, but we'd like to see more of that. And I know it's difficult, but we'd like to see more walks from him, because in essence, a walk is just as good as a hit for him. And I know he can, drop down the bunt and hit to first, and that's the other thing on squeeze plays. But the key for him is just that batting eye. And in terms of projections, I hope that his batting average remains in that 290 range. Stolen bases, I let him run, just like Jack let him run. So I would give him, somewhere in the 35 to 40 stolen base range. That's what I see him going there.
Okay, yeah, I kind of see this new stadium really helping out both Bonifacio and Reyes, because like Samson said, they're going to let the grass grow a little bit more. They weren't able to do that back in Sun Life because of the football. So that's really going to help Bonifacio to be able to drop down the bunt and be able to make it to first. I actually think he's going to get more than 40, because last year he got 40, but the first couple of months of the season, it wasn't even playing. So I think he could really, threaten that 50 stolen base mark. So in right field, we're going to have Mike Stanton. Big Mike, another season from him. Already, this is going to be his third season, but already in his first 2 seasons, already has over 50 home runs, which I'm not going to talk about the kind of pace he's on, but he's a pretty good pace. Last year, he hit 34 home runs. That's a really decent sophomore year. And now the only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is the 166 strikeouts. First 2 seasons in the big leagues, he has over 280 strikeouts. What do you think about how that's going to hold up in his third big league season?
Well, bottom line, Mike's got to battle at the plate. Mike's got to look for his pitches. He's got to be patient as possible. Now, we don't really expect a power hitter like Stanton to be the ultimate batting average hitter or things like that. But we do expect him to at least cut it down. Last year, he showed that he was somewhat comfortable, hitting 34 bombs. But, and in fact, if he's able to get on more pitches and fight more, I can see him breaking Gary Sheffield's single-season record for the Marlins of 42 home runs in 1996. I could see him hit over 42 next year. As far as the batting average is concerned, in order to break that record, he's going to have to raise that batting average. And the RBIs, this guy, you want to see him with more people on base, but I think he barely cracks 100, maybe in that 95 to 100 range.
Okay, well, for me, I have a very different approach at it, because, you're kind of, those numbers are if he's hitting 4th or 5th, because you said that you wanted to see Lomo hitting 4th and Stanton 5th.
It depends. If he's hitting 5th, I guess the runs batted in go higher. If he's hitting 4th, they may go lower. It depends.
I would think the opposite way, though. I mean, if he's hitting 4th, he's going to have, guys like Bonifacio, Reyes, and Hanley hitting right in front of him.
Yeah, but let's say, they go down 1, 2, 3, Stanton leads off the inning. There go your 3 chances.
Right. I mean, that's obvious, but, your big RBIs guys are always hitting 4th, like Cabrera. You have these guys, you have your fast guys, and then your best RBI hitter usually hits 4th. I mean, that's just my opinion. But as far as Stanton's concerned, the strikeouts, they're going to come with him. That's one of the things that is with Stanton. And, you hope that he improves. But, if he starts becoming a well-rounded hitter, he could. I mean, I remember last year, there was a closer, I don't remember which, it might have been the Mets, that he got him out one day, and he made him look foolish. The next day, the same pitch came back in, threw him the same pitch, he hit it for a game-winning home run. I mean, I actually think hopefully next offseason we start looking into long-term contracts. This guy's going to really start picking it up, and he's going to be an integral part of the Miami Marlins moving forward for many years. And as a 4th hitter, I'm actually projecting over 120 RBIs.
Wow.
Huge season for him. Brand new ballpark. We're going to need him to step up if we expect to make the playoffs. So we kind of wanted to talk about the rumor mill as far as Cespedes goes, and you know, he visited the Marlins early on this week, and you know, all indications are this guy wants to be in Miami. He's a Cuban guy. You know, they're gonna have a brand new stadium in Little Havana. This is the perfect place for him. And once he got off the plane, they had reporters on him, and he made it obvious. He said, you know, I would like to play with the Marlins. Hopefully it all works out. And they gave him a tour of the ballpark. They went to eat lunch with him. So this news is just coming in. Yoenis Cespedes has signed 4 years, $36 million, and it's not with the Marlins. He signed with Oakland A's. There's a big difference between what the Marlins offered him and what Oakland gave him. The Marlins were offering him 6 years at 36. Oakland was 4 years at 36, so obviously the money made sense for him. And according to him, he said Oakland was the most interested in him. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it still seems to me that he would have been a better fit here in Miami. But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of risk with this guy. So we'll see how he does in Oakland. I personally, since he's not coming here, you know, the guy's on his own. I'm not going to root for him, obviously. But the Marlins, you know, you can say they dodged the big one or they didn't. It's going to Oakland, 4 years, $36 million. Good luck, guy.
Yoenis Cespedes. This is just incredible. Now, I'm sure that he realizes that he may have to start off in AAA at first, but that's besides the point. You're gonna get somebody. You're gonna get twofold, maybe even threefold the production if you sign this guy. So, you know, let's hope for the best on this one.
So that's it for the outfield talk. We've already covered the infield. We now covered the outfield. Next week we're going to be covering the Marlins bench, who we think is going to make it into the fold. There's a lot of question marks, so be sure to join us next week for that. A few tidbits that might interest some people. Jose Reyes cut his hair obviously a couple weeks ago. It finally got on eBay and was sold for $10,000. All the proceeds are going to be going to sponsor the Make-A-Wish Foundation of South Florida. The Marlins are going to be having their annual caravan, so look up on marlins.com to see some of the stops they're going to make. You know, obviously some of the players are going to be, you know, going to these places, so you have chances to get autographs and, you know, maybe even talk to some of the players. FanFest is coming up March 3rd. It's probably the most exciting fan fest in the history of the Marlins. You're going to be in a brand new ballpark, all the amenities. You're going to be able to walk around the ballpark, check out everything that's gone on, and the ballpark's going to be done. There might be one or two things that they need to touch up, but it's going to be close to 100% done, and you'll be able to bask and enjoy the ballpark. So as a Marlins fan, Rafi, you know, how excited are you about that?
This is an exciting event. You know, I'm excited for those Marlins fans back home in Miami that are gonna get to experience this. It's just gonna be great. I mean, I could just see it now. That place is gonna be overflowing with Marlins fans from all over the place, and it's just gonna be a party atmosphere, just like the regular season is gonna be a party atmosphere.
You know, check it out, and I'll probably be there. So hopefully, if you want to meet up with me or meet up with some other Marlins fans, just you know, comment on this video or comment on our Facebook and see if we can have some sort of get together. So this week, Raf's going to be talking about the dress code for the media members, which was instituted in the collective bargaining agreement, making Major League Baseball the first professional sports league to institute a media dress code. So Raf is going to be talking about that in his fair or foul session.
Thanks, Rob. This new dress code regulation, I think, is a good thing for baseball, a good thing for professional sports and media in general. I mean, you have guys nowadays walking in flip-flops and shorts and, you know, muscle tees or rip tees or whatever, and they pretty much, I mean, they do their job and they do a great job doing it, but they're not presentable. and you know, you need to be presentable in a working environment. And if that's your job, then that's a working environment, and you know, it's something that I think we should take care of. They should take care of themselves a lot more. If you recall, back in the day, you had the reporters and you had all the media members, you know, wearing the suit and the tie and all that other stuff, even with hats. So I think Major League Baseball did a great thing, and I hope the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, everybody else follows suit here, because I think this is a great idea.
So the question of the week is, how many home runs do you think Mike Stanton is going to hit in 2012 for your Miami Marlins? Make sure to comment on this video or send us a message on Facebook. That's it for this week. Next week we're going to be covering the bench and who we think is going to be making the team. As for now, that's it. We'll see you next week, and here's our latest edition of
The Major League Out.